This is kind of a more lighthearted concern that occurred to me last week when a senator from Vermont said billionaires should not exist. As the only billionaire whom I can consult this matter on, Mark, what is your perspective on Senator Sanders' statement?
Good question. All right, so, all right, so I understand where he's coming from. I don't know if I have like an exact threshold on what amount of money someone should have. But look, I mean, at some level, no one deserves to have that much money, right? I mean, that's not like, I don't. It's, you know, I think if you do something that's good, you get rewarded. But I do think some of these, some of the wealth that can be accumulated is unreasonable. And I mean, part of this is why my wife and I started the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, our philanthropy, and pledged that we're going to give 99% of our Facebook shares away through that over our lifetime. But look, I think some of this gets to a deeper question where I think there are people who would even say even that's bad, right? It's like there shouldn't be an accumulation of private wealth that allows people to. You know, it's like we're funding science, for example, and it's like, and some people I think would say, well, is it fair that that you know a group of wealthy people get to some degree choose which science projects get worked on? And you know, I don't know how to answer that exactly. I mean, at some level it's not fair, but it may be optimal in that. It's like, or better than the alternative, which is, I think the alternative would be the government chooses all of the funding for all of this stuff, which we kind of see. I mean, in science, you have like the NIH, for example, and it has a huge budget compared to anything that philanthropy is going to do, $34 billion a year, and you know, and the way that it executes its budget is basically, you know, what you'd kind of expect the politically correct thing to do is, you know, it gives out a lot of small grants in every single state and university around the country, and generally is not funding a lot of like really big projects. And I don't know. I think part of what makes progress happen is people taking different approaches to different things. And I think that the NIH is generally funding a lot of great work, and we're lucky that they exist, and I would like them to get funded more. Right now, I've pushed for that. But I also think it's pretty good that there are other people out there who are trying different approaches, right? Who are willing to fund things and maybe take a bet. Like, you know, one of the things that we're doing with CZI is we're funding this human cell atlas project. You can kind of think about it as like, you know, when you first started studying chemistry, there's like the periodic table of elements, which says like, all right, here's basically the foundation of chemistry, here are the elements, and here's how they interact. There isn't that for biology today, right? It's like no one has mapped out you know, we think there's like 10,000 different types of cells in the body, and no one's ever made a catalog of all of them and how they interact, and you know, what are the different states that they can be in, and how do you move them between different states. And that's like kind of a foundational resource that would help all of science improve, but it's a really expensive project, and the NIH I think is helping to fund it in its own way, but I think having some private funders take bets on that, and I don't know, maybe we'll get it wrong and we'll waste a bunch of money. I'm not sure, but I think having different approaches is one of the things that is valuable. And this is like, so I think that's what, I think you want a mix of public and private on all this. And I guess what I worry about a little bit when I hear sentiments like what the senator suggested is the suggestion that this should all be done publicly, I think would deprive the market and world of a lot of ways, of kind of a diversity of different attempts that can be taken. So I think you can think at the same time both that it's unfair that any individual might have that much wealth, yet still think that it's better for everyone, that there is certain choice and competition of the ideas that get pushed out there.